Something I take advantage of on Ancestry is the ability to build multiple trees and make each individual tree either private or public. I have my main public tree that has my DNA attached to it so that I can keep track of all my matches and I can interact with people I match with, reach out for collaboration. And that tree I call my tree in progress because I know there can be mistakes, and I, like most people probably do, when I first started out on Ancestry, I eagerly dove in and just started adding stuff left and right. So it is the tree that I experiment with and probably have a fair amount of mistakes on, and that's okay. That's why I labeled it my in progress family tree. But I also keep a private unsearchable tree. It's labeled my verified only ancestors, and that tree I stick mostly with keeping track of grandparents, great grandparents, and so forth. I don't expand out as wide as I do with my public tree. And that tree, I am trying to make sure that I keep everything cited, my sources cited properly, or at least as accurately and detailed as I can. That tree I keep to myself because I may have more private records in there that I don't want people seeing, or more private photos. Sorry, it's a really bright day if you can't see me well. But another tree you can do on Ancestry is floating trees. And those trees are good if you are tracking a DNA match and you haven't yet figured out how they tie into your tree, who the common ancestors are. And it's also, floating trees are also good for when you're experimenting. You think somebody from a census or whatever, some family might belong in your tree, but you're not positive, so you can make a floating tree and kind of build out on it until you figure out. And there's plenty of videos on how to make floating trees, and so that they're just by themselves floating out in the abyss. And I think you have to have Pro Tools. If you have that, you can make customized tags and make a customized tag called floating tree, attach it to that person that you've made, so that whenever you need to find them again, you can do a search for floating trees or people that are in floating trees. And however many trees you have, whether you keep them private or public, either one, you want to make sure you're backing them up often. When you've added new records, added new names every so often, download the GEDCOM again from Ancestry or whatever site you're on. Or if you're using a private family tree software, same thing. Every time you update it, download an updated GEDCOM. And what I do is I save my GEDCOM with the tree name and the date. Or if it's a holiday, I'll be like tree name, Thanksgiving 2026. And that leads to the next important tip, is be backing up everything. Back up all the files you find, download them, screenshot them, whatever, save them with a name that you can find them. What I do is I save the things I download with citation information, like if it's a newspaper clipping, I save it with the name of the paper, the date, the page number, and in parentheses the website, like newspaper.com or newspaperarchive.com. If it's a record, like a census record, I'll do 1860 US Census. You can put the name of the ancestor in parentheses if you want. Location if you want. I'll put a dash FS for family search, or ancestry, or wherever the heck I got it from, NARA, and then comma, the name of the title of the records, like Illinois death and stillbirth, and then I'll put image group number, and then I'll put a comma. If it has a page number, I'll put a page number, and I always put the slide numbers just in case. Slide 23 of 642 or whatever. I do that in my own personal folder system. Of course, you're going to want to have a document or something somewhere logging the things you're finding with the really proper citation, but for your downloading and saving to your folders, I try to use some citing information or something to help me find it again. But you should be backing up everything, because it's great to have everything out in the digital world, but it's just, you never know if it's going to be there from one day to the next. Heck, we could have a solar flare or something. It could just take out the internet, or we could have a website go under, or whatever. So back up, back up, back up. Back your things up as much as you can. It's okay to use cloud drives, but you're going to want to have some saved to your computer, to hard drives, flash drives, whatever.